And let me explain to you like why I think she's so fun. Zeri can do shit that no other AD carries can do, and it like, you know that you're pissing the enemy team.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
That I cannot help but just say that you guys should probably try it out, even though she's technically the worst AD carry in the game, but just try it with my build and my playstyle.
41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56.
Usually you're kind of just pick AD carry to just do big damage, but like Zeri's different, man. Zeri's different.
Well, he's not wrong. It's been fun, but I think it's time Crit Zeri is defamed. I've seen this champion even be played in MSI. It's time to kill it, guys. Now, the title of that video is 1,000 hours of Crit Zeri, and I explain why it's good. And then the first sentence he says about it is, this is the worst AD carry in the game. Crit Zeri deserves defaming for 3 reasons, and I'll go over all of those here soon. But this is a continuation of my build Mythbuster series, I guess. I decided to do an easy one this time as I get back into the groove of making videos again. And it's definitely an easy one because Zeri is literally one of the worst champions in the game. Another thing that's important to point out is I haven't really played League too much this season, but I recently decided I've been a little too mentally and emotionally stable, so I decided to come back and give it another go. I also have a fun little story to tell you guys, so stick around for that at the end of the video. All that to say is that I came back just in the nick of time, in the perfect timing for this champion to be actually unplayable. Now, Zeri is one of those champions that I was the most excited for, at least in the last couple of years. Her playstyle was something that I thought AD carry was sorely lacking, and by that I mean fun. Very quickly, people found out the on-hit build, and the champ took off as the combination of damage and tankiness was a tad bit too strong, which prompted Riot to take a break from destroying the client and abusing women, and they used this newfound free time to absolutely annihilate this champion.
47 kills.
Yeah, they're never gonna fuck man.
Oh, is he just whooping my ass?
Wow!
Is he just actually whooping my ass? They ended up nerfing her base damages almost by half, killing her on-hit build, but upping her scaling, pushing her more towards the crit variants. But here's why Crit Zeri does not work. As Doublelift so eloquently described for us, if you pick this champion in its current state, you are absolutely griefing. I have been playing ranked with some of my friends lately, and I had to make it explicitly clear that I'd be playing Zeri so that they knew it was a 4v5, because I'm just going to be running around like a headless chicken and with all the powers of Forrest Gump in team fights. With that said, I am currently 3 wins and I believe 13 losses with Zeri, and I am deep in the negative with some less than inspiring damage numbers to go along with those losses, and the wins for that matter. Now look, here's reason number 1 to defame Crit Zeri. When you look at all the meta picks in bot lane, the one thing they all have in common is they all spike at one item. Crit Zeri, whether you're building Essence Reaver first, Shield Bow first, Kraken first, you're still pretty weak compared to pretty much every other AD carry in the meta. And that's the problem with champs like Caitlyn and Kai'Sa, and even Aphelios. They all take 3 items to scale and be useful, by which point the game is already decided. This build is that, but even worse because of the nerfs they gave her, making her early game non-existent. And even if you get to these items, you still don't pack enough of a punch to warrant picking Zeri over Jhin, Tristana, or these other AD carries. Now, number 2 is wave clear. With the Trinity Force build, you went Tiamat, unlocking Zeri's abilities to wave clear. This is extremely important, as we've seen champions like Vayne, who are relatively powerful, be kept out of the meta and competitive simply because they can't wave clear. You can build Runons and get pretty much the same effect, but realistically you won't be getting Runons a minimum till 3 items, because you want to build Shield Bow first, then Essence Reaver because of the insane synergy that Zeri has with Sheen. But at that point you'll find that you need 4 items to come online, and it always feels like you're an item behind. You can forego Essence Reaver and go Rune on second, i.e. third, but then your mid game is that much weaker, and again, there's just no net positive for this build. Now, reason number 3, and really again, you don't need 3 reasons, you only need 1. As I said earlier, this was kind of an easy video to make. Zeri's the worst champion in the game, and it's not close. But the third reason is crit itemization feels awkward to build, specifically because of IE. Now, this could really be a full video onto itself, but before the item rework, IE was like a ticking time bomb, I should say. You could build it first, and then every item after built on its power, and then guaranteed that at 3 items, you were very strong, pretty much regardless of the champ. Well, not regardless, but you get what I'm saying. Nowadays, you need 1,000 items as a crit AD carry, especially survivability items, as Riot themselves see that as a gigantic problem that needs to be addressed with their durability patch coming soon. But often you might need to go Bloodthirster to survive through team fights. Maybe you need Lord Doms to hit frontline, and if you build any one of these things, you're delaying IE, and for a lot of the champions that go crit, it means they're basically not playable because IE just feels terrible to build. Unless you're playing an AD carry that does damage at one item and off their kit, like Tristana, Samira, Jhin, Draven, Lucian. But again, if you need items to be useful, though, you find that those are often the weaker characters. Caitlyn, have you tried playing Caitlyn lately? Champion feels terrible. Xayah has gone crit since the very first day she came out. Have you tried playing crit Xayah lately? For your mental health, I certainly hope not. Crit Xayah feels like what Lility's cat must have felt like as it was flying through the air. Sivir ditched the crit build too, by the way, and before that she wasn't played very much, was she? Ashe now goes that weird tank build just to get one shot anyway. Kai'Sa is still Kai'Sa, which means you need 3 items to be useful. So what does that mean for Zeri? Well, it puts her in that category of champions that needs IE to do damage. And anytime you need IE to do damage, the build is not only expensive, but also apathetic of the circumstances in the game. That's a big boy word. I got my vocab cards out today. But again, this is really like another thing that just feels awful about this crit Zeri build, but it could be a whole other video onto itself. It turns out that running around at high speeds does not translate into impact. Who would have guessed? Speaking of high speeds, actually, the other day I found myself on the receiving end of a speeding ticket, which I thought was kind of unfair. No, I was speeding 100%. I was going like 20 miles over the speed limit. Honestly, the most surprising thing about that is that they were even able to stop me. I was going so fast. I felt like Paul Walker. If I die, let it be in this 2017 Nissan Sentra. You know what? It was one of those moments where you're listening to one of those really hyped songs and you're just vibing out to it, and then you come back to your senses and realize your foot is all the way down on the accelerator. It was really bad. I don't even remember what I was playing. Probably some Billie Eilish or something. Yo, Taylor Swift gets me hot too, though. But yeah, I was definitely speeding. That's not my problem. My problem is these cops were like camping out, just waiting for people to pass by. And I was a good 4 blocks away, and I already saw these dudes blocking off the street, signaling me to pull over. At first, I was like, how did they know, and how were they ready? But then I realized, oh, they probably just heard the sonic boom a mile down the street and got up just in time to stop me. So anyway, they pull me over. Then they hit me with the classic line, "Sir, do you know how fast you were going?" Truth is, I didn't. I had no idea. But I was definitely speeding, so I thought to myself, alright, let's just be generous and say I was going like 46, 47, right? Then the cop gave me this look basically saying, 46? Brother, we thought you were trying to go back to the future. What are you talking about, 46? So then he ends up saying, no, you were going 53 in a 35. Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, only 53? Really? I've gone 80 down these bitches. I go 53 in parking lots. What are you talking about? I'm getting a ticket for 53? Of all the times I've been speeding, this is the time I get one. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, it was a 35? In what universe is a 3-lane street a 35? It felt like I was driving in a stadium and that was a 35? I live in Miami, in the city, so not only do I have to worry about my car melting from this heat, now I gotta worry about these cops hiding out in the bushes at 11:30 at night like it's Call of Duty. So then the cop leaves, presumably to attend to his campfire and watch over the marshmallows, make sure he's set to camp out for the rest of the night. But then I take a look around at this parking lot they pulled me into, and I noticed a bunch of other unsuspecting victims who had also fallen prey to these wet bandits. And I noticed most of them were of Hispanic descent. Trust me, I can tell. It's the mustaches. I say that not to make it political, but just to point out that us as an ethnicity just seem to have this issue. So now in the last week, I've lost damn near 200 LP playing this absolute abomination of a champion, and now I'll be down like $200 too, just because of Scooby-Doo and the gang over here. So, I'm doing well. Just roll the outro, man.